I'm going to talk about layouts. It is some kind of file naming convention that is meaningful for Next.js. So whenever it sees that layout.tsx or layout.ts or .js, it's going to interpret that as a wrapper around the page. So whenever you see a page and its sibling in the same directory is a layout, it's going to wrap this web page content with this layout. And it's very useful feature that you can make shared layouts. So different web pages can use one layout. As an example, you might have a header and a footer and a sidebar probably, and you want to share it between different web pages. You don't want to implement it within your web page. And the layout is the best place that you can put those shared components and those shared codes. Let's go and use this one. And to do so, what you can do, I can create a header. By the way, in the layout.tsx, I create a header, and then I put a nav. For instance, I want to have a menu, nav something, then some URLs. That's fine. All good. So as you can see, let me move them to render them in one line. I can add tailwind class flex row. And now it's going to be rendered in one line, maybe a gap of 4. Okay, better. And now that we have this header, if I go and head into another page, I have about, for instance, about. As you can see, the header remains the same because the layout is going to wrap all the pages that we have. And this is only applicable for the root layout. This is the root layout, means that at the toppest level of the app, we have this layout.tsx, and it's going to wrap every page. Even if I go to about me page, which is 2-level nested, I still can have this layout. Let's go about me, and you can see still I have this layout wrapping my web page. Another concept about layouts worth mentioning here is that you can have different layouts and at different levels. So if I go to the about page, I can create another layout file. Let's go create one, layout.tsx. And I have to create a function, export default function about layout, I call it. The name doesn't matter, only matter is default. But it's good to have a good naming convention. Then I return something, just a simple div, that's fine. And then class name, maybe some padding, and we are good. So something important is that now I'm in the about me. Let me go first into the about page, and as you can see, I don't see about page content here, and the reason is that I have to return children, because as I told you, it's going to wrap my page. I'm on this page, and this page is going to be wrapped with this layout. It's going to be child of the layout. So I have to wrap them in the layout, and we have to return the children, and I have to get it from the props children, and now it's fine. Now to make sure that it's working, I can put another one here about page layout, and you see, let me make it smaller. And as you can see, now my page is wrapped with layout, and this layout is wrapped with the root layout. So there's a hierarchy of the layouts here, and they are going to wrap each other until we get into the leaf of this tree structure, which is the page itself. And since this page about me is under the about page, is going to use the layout of the about. It means if I go to about me, I still will see this about page layout in my structure. One cool feature about layouts is that they can preserve their state. And if they are storing some data inside themselves, if you redirect from one page to another, they can save and keep that data. First of all, we have two kinds of redirection and navigation between pages. One is the hard reload or hard redirection, and the other one is soft reload or soft redirection. And the difference is whenever we try to soft redirect to somewhere else, we are acting like a lazy loading. We fetch the new page with XHR requests, it's like Ajax, and we get the data and we render and replace the content on the page. In this case, imagine we have this header, but the content here is the home page. I head into another page. Header remains the same, but the contents just replaced and changed. This is something that, first of all, Next.js can handle this, and to have soft redirection, instead of having A tags, we have to use link tag from Next.js, and I don't want to explain a lot about this link. Later we get into that, but you just consider that it's going to optimize and give us soft routing. The output of this link is going to be a tagged. I can still navigate through pages, but this time it's, instead of hard reloading, it's trying to replace only the contents that are new and replace them on the page. So first step, I just replaced the A with link, and now we are on the layout. As you can see, I'm in the layout page, and if I have some kind of states on my page, by redirecting from home to about or vice versa, I can have some kind of state like React user state and keep that data and have that data without any change if I redirect from one place to another. Let's try it. And to do so, I want to move this header to a header component. I cut this, I create a header.tsx, export const header, then I will return this one, all good. I have to import link next, nice working. Then I have to render this. Okay, all good, all the same. Now what I'm going to do, still I'm on the layout, right? And this header is rendered in the layout. So if I go to the header and I create a state here, use a state, I import it from React, I put 1, doesn't matter, const state, and set state equal 1. Then I'm going to render this one somewhere, and I'm getting some error, and the reason is that we are using user state. We have to make this component a client component by adding use client directive at the top of the page. I don't want to explain a lot because it's not the good time to explain what's wrong, what's going on here. Later we get into that into the rendering section, but to make it work, I just added this use client at this level. And now we're good. We get some error, we can ignore. And now I'm going to make a button, probably. Yeah, first I'm going to render state equal state is state. If I refresh, I think I have to rerun the project. Something went wrong, so let's run it again. And now I have this, and I add a button to update this one. So this button is incrementing my state. If I press on this button, let me refresh. Now we have, I press on this button and you see it's incrementing. Let me zoom, you can see better. And now if I'm on the home page, if I head to about, you can see that it preserves this state. If I redirect from page to page, I increment, and it still is the same. It's very useful feature whenever, for instance, you have some information like user info or cart info. You want to get the data from a service. You put it in the header, and during the navigation between pages, you don't miss that information, and you don't need to load it again and again on every single redirection. So I hope that you get the idea, and in the next one, I'm going to explain what is template and how to use them, and what is the difference between templates and layout.